I work as a part of a freelancer team for a French media production company since 4 years. The job is pretty much perfect as I can work remote from my German home on really cool projects. The coworkers are amazing and we get along very well. However, I wish to have more time to work on Noise Commander and I feel burnt out. I wanted to take a month off at some point, but I did not dare. 2 weeks ago, on the 24th of February, our parent company declared bankruptcy. It means they are no longer able to pay any bills and the financial control has been handed to an insolvency administrator. He will determine what happens next, whether the individual companies are sold or liquidated. My company asked us to continue working nonetheless, since we have an ongoing project that is still being paid by a huge and well-known client. As a freelancer, I usually get my pay 2 weeks after the end of the month, but as of now I have not been paid for January and February. I have been told that the situation is complicated and I will probably never get my money back for those 2 months because other creditors have me first in case of insolvency clause in their contracts and I am at the bottom of the list. I may get the money in the distant future. It may be only a fraction of the original sum or nothing at all. My gut intention was to stop working, but my teammates convinced me to continue even without pay in the hope that we will be able to continue and finish the project with a new owner in case the company is sold. At this point, 2 more weeks have passed, me working without pay, but the insolvency administrator agreed to an upfront payment for March. I have sent my invoice and expect the pay to arrive next week. On an emotional level, I was looking forward to taking a break. Now I can't take a break as I feel I need the money and I'm still missing 2 months of pay. Not only that, but I already prepaid my income tax for the first quarter. It is a requirement for freelancers in Germany. I am furious on the inside and I have a painful sensation in my chest since the event. Had I known this in advance, I would have worked on developing Noise Commander during those 2 months instead, and it would be way ahead now. Noise Commander is my passion project and my secret naive dream is to finance it through Patreon. In an ideal world, I would like to keep working my regular job for half the week and work on Noise Commander the other half. You may or not know Blockhead. It is an experimental digital audio workstation software. The developer calls himself Colugo. He makes YouTube streams about his progress and as far as I know, his Patreon income allows him to work full-time. He started a couple years before me and he's probably a much better programmer too. It is my dream to be in a similar situation. A few weeks ago, Colugo showed his face for the first time on his channel and told us that he had worked as a programmer but was let go during COVID and so began creating Blockhead. I know that Noise Commander simply isn't good enough yet and I wish I had more time to improve it. By the way, I have not received any money from Patreon up to this point either. I found that I hadn't filled in a tax form for non-US citizens, so that's probably my own fault. I'm curious to see whether I will receive something now that I have handed it in. A part of me wishes that I become unemployed so that I can dedicate myself to Noise Commander entirely, but then I would have no income, which I find quite scary. Something that I had not mentioned here before is that I worked on a Raspberry Pi-based hardware Groovebox project in 2019. I did actually take 9 months off after my previous contract ended and hoped to make that a commercial success, which was very naive. I had burned through most of my savings at that time and made an Indiegogo campaign that flopped spectacularly. Prior to that, I had gone to the Superbooth convention in 2019 to show my project to people, and I briefly met some well-known Synthtubers such as Cuckoo, Heinbach, Bo Beats, Look Mom No Computer and Basic. When I say briefly, I mean it. I could not make them interested in my Groovebox because they seemed too busy. This failure was so emotionally devastating that I stopped working on the project and shifted my focus to find a real job again as I was short on money. I was able to recoup during the next 5 years and even bought a lot of music hardware gear. Eventually, the idea of Noise Commander came to me as the Nintendo 3DS has an ARM CPU like the Raspberry Pi. Not having to design PCBs, nor cases, no soldering, no assembly required, batteries included, handheld form factor, etc. seemed very appealing as I could focus solely on writing code. So here I am. Noise Commander is now 2 years old and this channel a little more than 1 year. The best way of helping me is to share my videos or telling your friends about Noise Commander. The free demo is available in the Universal Updater. Please try it out.